Greetings, Keishlings. Keishlan Prime here with my review of Attack on Titan Chapter 97. This is about take number 8 or 9 at this point. I've about lost it. Anyway, with this chapter, we now have basically a complete timeline, more or less, from, like, back in Marley during Reiner's childhood to the present, minus the time skip, of course. I mean, but that'll probably get filled in over time, right? Anyway, few major plot points that happened in this chapter are, like I said, we get a complete timeline of at least the past portion before the time skip. You have Annie starting off the chapter. She's trying to infiltrate, do some spy work in the capital, but like this secret agent who's very well trained has kind of figured her out. She tries to play off as like, oh, daddy, it's like mother told me stories about you, and it's like the one night that she was with you. But really, that would have punched a hole in anybody's, story, wouldn't it? That doesn't hold much water. But anyway, later on, like, the three Titan shifters, Bertolt, Annie, and Reiner, they snuck out of the barracks. I think it was supposed to be the barracks. Could have been something else. I don't know. To, collaborate on anything that they've learned. They kind of come to a conclusion that maybe they should just head back to Marley to see if, like, what information they have gathered, which at this point it had been 5 years and they basically have nothing. So this plan is basically pointless. Shouldn't be done. So they finally get into the academy. We see some, like, training going on. We see Eren. He's apparently, this is, I assume, supposed to be post the part in the anime where they're, like, training with the 3D gear, and it's like because he, like, couldn't keep his balance with it because they're actually using it. So excuse me, and he's actually using it, but he's getting tripped up in the wires, which sounds dangerous as all hell. But because that is like the worst kind of trapeze accident you could imagine. And it's like, okay, it's like, and then just goes around your neck, and then, well, he literally hung himself. Get soldier number 347 over here. We need a replacement. Or something like that. I don't know. But, yeah, it goes on like this. Reiner actually kind of mentors him to a bit with a bit of advice. It's like, even though the path is bad, you keep pushing forward. This is going to bite him in the ass. I can already tell, because he's kind of motivating his probably worst enemy. Especially if Eren ever figures out Reiner's true... Well, I guess they do, kind of. Well, or does he know it by this point? Interesting. I know he knows about Reiner and everything. They're traitors, but to the full extent, it's like that we infiltrated and all that shit. Yeah, this could get interesting and very bloody and gory, and this series does that so well. But anyway, we go with that, and he motivates him so that he obviously gets better. Then we get back into the present day. You have some talk with the Tiber family. We get to meet the head of the family, Billy. Why Billy? Shouldn't it be William or Bill? He's supposed to be a lord. Well, we eventually find out while he's talking to Gath. I always say his name wrong. We meet the Tiber family and all that, and it's like they discuss like how basically the Tiber family like their ancestors and presumably the other ancestors of other Titan shifters of the Nine Titans kind of gave Marley their freedom back in the day, and they've just kind of been watching them. And given how Marley kind of controls most of the Titans, except for the Warhammer Titan, which is of the Tiber family, they're kind of just watching them. So it really starts to make you think, is the Warhammer Titan the most powerful outside of the founding Titan? Interesting. And what would Warhammer even indicate? Does it make them giant, like boulder fists with the hardening or something? I don't know. Or hit like hammers, maybe. Whatever. But anyway, Billy is the current inheritor of the Warhammer Titan. Magath did not know any of that. It's a very select few that know of it, so it makes sense. I mean, why would everybody know, this? But Billy kind of informs them, that they've just kind of been watching them this whole time, and it's like they kind of stay out of things. And I'm pretty sure it was Magath who was saying like that Marley's just kind of walking towards its own destruction and whatnot during this discussion. It was more deep and I just can't remember it all. I really should have taken notes. But from there it goes Reiner, after having some of his flashbacks, which was about half the chapter, it seemed like, he has a gun in his mouth. Yeah, that's not a laughing matter. I don't know why I laughed. It was just a very big jump to disposition there, and I was like, oh, okay, what the hell? I don't know if it was because it's like, I've trained my worst enemy and he's going to come and kill me. And then, I don't know. So, yeah. But then he hears Falco outside, which then proves that the barracks, buildings, whatever, in the Eldian districts do not have glass in them, because he grabbed the bar. So, yeah, no glass. Weird. I know. Weird observation to make. Anyway, he's continuing to mourn the fact that he hasn't the power, the talent, or whatever to become the Armored Titan inheritor and save Gabby from such a fate. Well, Reiner kind of is like, I still have, my charges, his underlings, or not underlings, his subordinates. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It's, so he has something to live for. This goes on. Falco goes to the military hospital. We see that mysterious person who is basically confirmed as Eren by this chapter. The one that's missing a leg, and he had the armband on the wrong arm and everything, and he has the really long hair and like a bandaged up, I think it was his left eye. Yeah, it was his left eye. And it was like, hey kid, come over here. I owe you one for yesterday, or the other day. He starts talking, it's like, I'm not really here for, the PSTD, or PD, I done fucked it up. I hate acronyms. Post-traumatic stress disorder. There we go. I always switch up the S and the T. I'm stupid. But anyway, that he doesn't actually have that, and he doesn't want his family to see him like in the condition that he's in. So that's why he's kind of just faking it. And then he asks Falco, like, what's up with you? You seem like you're injured, which I thought was a weird thing to say. And it was like, I have someone that I'm trying to save, but I can't do it. The typical Falco. And I was like, is it a girl? I was like, yes. And then it was like, well, the path of being in the military, it's hell. That whatever is pushing you, it's usually not your own will. It's either the lives of your countrymen, your family, or you're being forced by higher powers. So it's never your own to why you do it, and then it can even be worst hell later down the road by pursuing it, or there's hope. So and as I was reading it the first time, I was like, this is a very Eren thing to say. And then it clicked, okay, this has to be Eren, which it had been kind of theorized before that it was him, and this basically clinches it, now doesn't it? Well, he asks a very specific thing. It's like, here, take this letter. It's for my family. I want them to know that I'm alright, and, and that I made it here safe. Well, he didn't want it to be like sent through like the office at the hospital, because they would check it, which then they would know he was faking and everything, which he's faking more than just what he's telling Falco, obviously. But anyway, and so yeah, which then makes me wonder, how many more people are actually in Marley right now? But also, I did come up with a thing. It's like, he's going by the alias of Mr. Kruger. Obviously, you know where he got the name from. It's 2 predecessors back. I forget what Kruger's first name was, if it was ever given. And it's like, so he's probably using that. Is he trying to use the credentials of Kruger? Like his old files and stuff? Because they kind of look alike, but not really. I don't know. I don't know how he could pass himself off, because that was like over 20 years ago. This is not going to pass off. It's like, Kruger, my man, you're looking young. You might have lost a leg, but you're looking good otherwise. I mean, it don't work that way. Not in the military. I mean, they do have photos after all. But, yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of a weird theory I had. But yeah, so I'm wondering if he might try and pass off as Kruger's son, maybe. Because, I mean, why else would he use that alias name? He could have come up with literally anything else, and it would have led to the same conclusion of just him being a wounded soldier. Which, how far does that actually get you? I mean, military keeps good records of things. So how would they, if that truly is Eren, how has he been able to slip into things like that? There's definitely an insider somewhere, right? But, yeah. So you have that. Reiner, meets up with Falco, and Falco's looking a lot happier than he has been in most chapters that he's been in. So this is good. But it's also bad for where things probably head, and Falco just helped that along. So, yeah. Things are getting interesting with this, and because there was no Titan action actually in the chapter, I'll still only give it a 4, as I stated in my live reaction. But otherwise, solid chapter. Pacing was pretty good. I had a little time with some of the flashbacks, because, me being meh. Too many flashbacks, and then they flip-flop back to present day. Things have been really confusing since the whole time skip thing, because it was never told. Most series kind of tell you it's like 1 year later. This was kind of like, 4 years, and it was characters we didn't know in a different location. I don't know. Timelines have really been messing with me since that. But anyway, overall it was a good chapter. I enjoyed it. I recommend anybody that, whoever's watching this and hasn't read it, to read it. But let me know anything I might have missed. I probably did. But anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Keishlings, roll out.